Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Grizz Cub on Forza Horizon 3. Now, this part of the map is notorious for running a little bit wide and having a very, very big accident, as we are about to see, although the Lamborghini this time getting incredibly lucky, able to land perfectly on its wheels, a little bit of a bounce across the grass, and then carry on unharmed. Tendy Gaming is also having similar issues, although this time a little bit more predictably when trying to go off-roading with a Porsche. Funnily enough, doesn't always work out so well. Tries to take a shortcut, gets a bit of airtime, we go for a double front flip and just about stick the landing. The mighty wing there helping with twisting the car back onto its wheels. Now this I have seen sent many times, cars running down the airfield and launching off of the jump at the end. Fairly common. However, the outcome of this one is something that I haven't seen happen before. I mean, we've all launched the cars as the Veyron goes flying into the air and sent them soaring. However, this one manages to bounce. I think it hits a tree. I'm not 100% sure, but it manages to, essentially we're doing skipping stones with cars now off at the airport. GTG Ultratech, though, is not having so much luck when it comes to Forza Horizon 2 racing. Here's Fulvia against a Dodge Dart as they round a corner and take over. Tiny Crest AI car is in just the wrong place for the poor Lance here as it goes tumbling. I think it actually clips the Dart on the way past as well. Still makes the checkpoint, amusingly, but yeah, that is an unfortunate positioned AI car. Now, Nuclear Donut on Horizon 3 has a very peculiar occurrence. If you're not paying close attention to the water, you might just miss it. Yes, we have found the Flying Dutchman of cars in Horizon 3. I've slowed it down. It's only the water that seems to be affected by it. If you can see the trail of the vehicle there as it goes through the water, there's no trails on the sand or anything. There's no players or AI cars in the vicinity. No idea what's caused that very peculiar occurrence. Elite Oreos on Ghost Recon or Wildlands takes a little bit too much speed around a corner, finds himself stuck off-road and in trying to take a shortcut back. Well, it turns out the rocks are rather hungry for supercars. That's not going to be going anywhere time soon. And they're also quite hungry for frame rate, apparently, with all of that. But yeah, don't mess with the hungry rocks. Warrior Oni on Carmageddon and max damage is having some issues with a police car. The little smart car, quite annoying, doesn't really do much to slow down, just a little bit of annoyance. It's an initial great run to use the wheel spikes to take out some tyres on wheels on the car, but even better, push and deposit it off into the ravine. Well played. It's a lot more difficult to do that with the bigger cars, however, still, dumping AI cars, police cars into ravines, always good. That mudkip on Stock Car Extreme runs a little bit too wide. Monza is fighting for control, can't quite bring it back together before his car pirouettes around and lands amazingly well. Lost a front wing, sure, but that you would expect that to be a much bigger crash. Amazing it managed to come back down and land on its wheels. Up next, Yamato 48 on Destiny just spawned in. Of course, naturally the first thing you want to do is summon your Sparrow to go driving around. However, this one has other ideas. Lands on its nose before bouncing and tumbling off of a cliff, and that's not a particularly long life. Turns out the Sparrow can be quite dangerous. Krisha CZ on Need for Speed Underground just started a race when one of the AI cars up ahead can't quite avoid an AI vehicle. Everybody starts the crash before the Peugeot decides the Lancer is not going to be going on air. 2 times the 206 manages to lift and carry the Lancer around. Broken Light MG on Borderlands 2 has found some of the arsehole threshers to have to try and deal with horrible things. These ones have learned a new trick, and that is to launch player cars up into the air. I've played a lot of Borderlands and I've never had my car launched by a Thresher before. Good landing, nevertheless, from the vehicle. Sir Liberus on Lego Worlds is doing some, well, destruction by the looks of it when he finds out that mushrooms are the latest and greatest thing in rolling over vehicles. I assume they're mushrooms that are designed to give the player character a jump boost. Turns out when you hit them with a car, they do the same thing and roll said vehicle over. Well played. 2 mushrooms in a row, and 2 not bad rolls at all. A Dogger on Wreckfest is about to do perhaps one of the most devastating takedowns on this game. Just a small nudge over the jump initially, but it's the kind of landing on that port. Well, it was a fairly pristine European car that by the time a single crash is done, there is just nothing left of it. Yeah, it's in almost perfect condition to begin with, but the way it gets landed on, the way it gets compressed, there is nothing left of of that car. And finally, we have Xeric on driver. Now, the police, well, they've always got some interesting tactics. It turns out the driver police have got some very, very impressive takedown methods as we go over a crest. There's a police car in the way, and said player vehicle is launched back. It's a stun effect, I think, on the player car there. It's so stunned by the police vehicle being there that it couldn't really help itself and has ended up on its roof on fire. I would say that is an effective maneuver from another FailRace police department. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. However, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.